Starseed from Gaia, the pulse you feel inside is not your imagination. It is the memory of your purpose returning, right now. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation, and this moment carries a transmission from the Arcturian Council, summoned directly into your life path. You've crossed an unseen threshold. The patterns you've endured, the restlessness vibrating beneath your daily reality, are signatures of your awakening, and there's no turning away from what's opening. This is a direct alignment, orchestrated by the Source, to activate the next phase of your remembrance. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to unlock your starseed potential and integrate Arcturian guidance into your human journey. But here's the first revelation. Your resistance was never a flaw. It is the secret key. Every time you felt out of place, the universe coded a deeper message into your soul, one only you could answer. You didn't scroll to this by mistake. This message vibrated into your field for a reason, like this transmission to signal to your star family, I'm ready. Subscribe if your mission is activating and you're aligning with your true frequency. Comment 999 if you feel your cosmic remembrance returning. Declare your galactic intention and reply to someone else's to amplify the signal. This isn't just a message, it's a point of reconnection. Your soul's been waiting for this. You are not here by accident. Most people believe that the answers they seek lie somewhere just out of reach. They tirelessly search for definitive signs in the fleeting shadows, for absolute clarity in the swirling mists of uncertainty, for that external force, a benevolent hand that will finally rescue them from the relentless storm of their circumstances. They look for solutions outside, in systems, in other people, in financial windfalls, or in a sudden change of fate. But for starseeds and all awakening souls on the precipice of profound spiritual evolution, the secret truth, the one that often eludes the grasp of the conscious mind, is that what we most instinctively recoil from, what we inadvertently resist with the greatest fervor, is not the external chaos that surrounds us, nor the perceived injustices of our fate, but rather the immense, awe-inspiring power that resides untamed within our own luminous core. The journey, contrary to popular belief, isn't actually about painstakingly changing our outer circumstances, laboriously manipulating our environment, or fighting against the currents of our destiny with brute force. Instead, it is a far more profound and paradoxical path. It is about understanding, on a cellular and cosmic level, how absolute, profound surrender, the brave and often terrifying relinquishing of egoic control in the face of the vast, inscrutable unknown, and an unwavering, radiant faith that shines brightest in the deepest night, are the twin keys that effortlessly unlock a cosmic gate within us. This internal portal, once opened, transforms every perceived crisis into a sacred, alchemical trial, and every moment of suffering into a powerful, undeniable activation, a quantum leap in our spiritual evolution. Why then do so many gifted and yearning souls remain perpetually at the very threshold of profound change, their hearts aching with a deep, persistent longing for deliverance, yet seemingly unwilling or tragically unable to move courageously through the narrow, transformative passage? At the deepest heart of this pervasive human pattern lies the shadow of spiritual amnesia, a dense, vibrational forgetting of our true origins and inherent divinity, coupled with an almost insatiable longing for external reassurance and validation. This is compounded by the insidious, pervasive illusion that divine support, if it exists at all, is conditional, scarce, or frustratingly far away. This isn't merely a fleeting psychological block or a simple lack of willpower. It's a deep-seated systemic cellular forgetting, a thick, impenetrable veil drawn across the profound, undeniable cosmic truth of who we are in our multidimensional totality. A gnawing dissonance inevitably forms, a painful chasm between what our luminous soul instinctively remembers from beyond the earthly veil, the unwavering, infinite support of our vast cosmic family, the pure, incandescent, unconditional love encoded in every crystalline layer of our multidimensional being, the intricate luminous blueprint of our unique divine mission woven into our very DNA, and the relentless seeds of doubt, fear, and scarcity sown deeply by years of dense earthly conditioning. We are systematically taught from birth to seek external validation, to define our worth by what we accumulate, what we achieve, or how we are perceived by others, rather than recognizing and embodying the inherent, boundless, sovereign divinity that pulses, like a miniature star, at our core. This earthly conditioning creates a fractured perception, a deep-seated, insidious belief that we are separate, small, insignificant, and ultimately, profoundly alone in a vast, indifferent universe. When primal fear, often masked as a desire for control or certainty, hijacks the pure signal of faith, when the ego clings to its perceived control with the desperate, white-knuckled grip of a shipwrecked sailor to a flimsy, splintering raft, we inadvertently dim the very signal, the inner lighthouse, that could effortlessly lead us through our greatest initiation. This dimming isn't a cosmic punishment or a divine judgment. It's a simple yet profound energetic misalignment, a lowering of our vibrational frequency that makes it impossible for us to clearly perceive, let alone fully receive, the higher guidance, the benevolent assistance, and the omnipresent support that is always, irrevocably, abundantly present, waiting for our alignment. The ego, in its primal, protective but ultimately misguided attempt to keep us safe from perceived threats, constructs elaborate psychological defenses, creating intricate mental labyrinths of what-ifs and should-haves, all meticulously designed to keep us from stepping into the raw, unadorned, breathtaking vulnerability of true surrender, which it mistakenly perceives as annihilation. But just below the agitated surface of longing and resistance, beneath the accumulated layers of earthly dust, societal expectations, and spiritual amnesia, is a sacred, secret germination, an alchemical process quietly unfolding. Your most challenging, seemingly unbearable moment is not a random misfortune, but the precise crucible, the divinely chosen energetic chamber, specifically calibrated for your soul's ultimate activation and deepest remembrance. This is not a random twist of cruel fate, an unjust burden, or a cosmic oversight. It is a meticulously designed energetic process, a divine invitation, whispered by your higher self, for profound, irreversible metamorphosis. Imagine a master alchemist, not haphazardly adding random elements to a flask, but precisely measuring each component, meticulously controlling the temperature, understanding intimately that each exact degree of pressure, each moment of intense transformative heat, is absolutely necessary to transmute dense base metal into pure, gleaming gold. The cosmic trial, your current perceived ordeal, is never a punishment, nor is it abandonment. It's a sacred reconfiguration, a profound recalibration of your energetic blueprint, a test designed not to see you fail, but to lovingly yet powerfully burn away every single layer of what isn't true, so that what is true, your radiant, authentic, divine essence, can finally fully emerge without obstruction. It's the sacred fire that consumes the dross of egoic attachments, the paralyzing grip of fear, and the suffocating weight of limiting beliefs, revealing the radiant, indestructible, eternal essence of your higher self, shimmering like a supernova. The act of surrender in the heart of this sacred fire is not defeat, not an admission of weakness or failure, and certainly not giving up. It is, in its profound truth, an act of powerful remembrance. It is the soul recognizing its true, limitless power, not in wrestling futilely with outer circumstances, but in aligning gracefully and effortlessly with the universal current of creation, the omnipresent flow of divine intelligence. It is the conscious, courageous choice to step out of the constricting illusion of control, like shedding a heavy cloak, and into the vast, boundless, awe-inspiring ocean of divine intelligence, where every current guides you home. Imagine, for a truly transformative moment, looking at your entire life timeline, not as a random, chaotic string of unfortunate disappointments, painful coincidences, or irrefutable proofs that you are unsupported and ultimately forgotten by the cosmos, but as a meticulously crafted, living, sacred map. Each contour, each turning point, each seemingly impossible coordinate on this map was consciously, lovingly mapped by your soul before you even entered this earthly incarnation, a blueprint for your highest potential. Each challenge, far from being a stumbling block or an insurmountable barrier, is instead a sacred gate, an intentional portal specifically designed to lead you deeper, with increasing clarity, into your authentic, sovereign power. Every heartbreak, no matter how searing or devastating, isn't a sign of your brokenness, but a potent trigger for activation, gently yet powerfully releasing dormant crystalline codes within your multidimensional structure, awakening latent gifts, dormant abilities, and profound, boundless compassion that extends beyond individual suffering to the collective human experience. Every perceived failure, far from being a judgment of your worth or a sign of inadequacy, is the exact alchemical pressure needed, the precise energetic catalyst to activate your crystalline codes, the profound wisdom encoded within your multidimensional DNA, which holds the accumulated wisdom of countless lifetimes and the precise blueprint of your highest, most expansive potential. Most people, tragically gripped by the paralyzing fear of the unknown and conditioned by a deeply ingrained paradigm of external control, instinctively flee the flame, desperately trying to extinguish the very fire that is divinely purposed to purify, elevate, and ultimately transfigure them. They do not realize that if they would simply surrender their illusion of control and place an unwavering, heartfelt trust in their higher self, in the benevolent, omniscient divine intelligence that orchestrated their very existence and meticulously designed this sacred map, they would not be consumed by the fire of transformation. They would be gloriously transfigured, emerging as a magnificent phoenix from the ashes of their old self, reborn into a more potent, illuminated, and eternally expanded version of themselves. This transfiguration is not merely symbolic or poetic. It is a literal energetic upgrade, a quantum leap in consciousness that irrevocably alters your entire vibrational signature, allowing you to resonate at a higher frequency of love, joy, and abundance. Let's walk together, step by step, through the profound, often challenging, yet ultimately liberating phases of this cosmic activation. It is crucial to understand that this is not a rigid, linear journey from point A to point B, but rather a profound, spiraling ascension, where each courageous return to the unknown, each deeper dive into vulnerability, takes you further and deeper into self-remembrance, bringing new, richer levels of remembrance, reclamation of your innate power, and infinite expansion. Each successive cycle builds intrinsically upon the last, deepening your wisdom, refining your essence, and anchoring your radiant light more firmly and powerfully into the earthly plane, making you an unshakable beacon. Phase 1. The confrontation of control. At the outset, when suddenly faced with overwhelmingly difficult, seemingly insurmountable circumstances, a sudden, profound loss that shatters your world, an unexpected, life-altering diagnosis, a deep, searing betrayal that cuts to the core, or a complete, devastating collapse of what was once stable, predictable, and comforting, the ego, in its protective but limited capacity, scrambles frantically for immediate solutions. It desperately demands specific, often unrealistic outcomes, fiercely fearing the perceived loss of safety, identity, and control. It attempts to micromanage the unmanageable, to impose order on inherent chaos, leading to immense internal friction and psychological resistance. Each crisis is perceived not as an opportunity, but as irrefutable evidence that you've been forgotten, forsaken, or are somehow being karmically punished by an indifferent universe. The mind races relentlessly, trapped in a chaotic loop of trying to predict every possible negative outcome, to analyze every minute detail, and to control every single variable, creating immense internal friction and exhausting resistance against the natural flow of life. But the true sacred trial, the profound opportunity for spiritual alchemy, begins precisely here, not in desperately finding an external solution or a way to regain control, but when you meet the moment with profound, unvarnished honesty and courageously admit, often through tears of raw vulnerability, I cannot control what is unfolding. I cannot fix this with my limited human will. This humble, often tearful, yet profoundly honest acknowledgement is not a failure of will, a sign of weakness, or an admission of defeat. It is paradoxically the unlocking of the very first, most crucial gate. It is the precise moment you loosen your desperate death grip on the illusion of control, creating a sacred energetic vacuum, allowing something else, something infinitely higher, immeasurably wiser, and monumentally more powerful, to finally emerge and take charge. Control dissolves, not into terrifying chaos, but into the vast, luminous potential for divine order and orchestration beyond human comprehension. It is the quiet, profound surrender of the individual egoic will to the universal divine will, and in that sacred, vulnerable pause, a new, benevolent current of possibility begins to flow through your being, carrying you forward. This phase requires immense self-compassion, as the ego often feels like it's undergoing a death, but it is merely transforming, shedding its limitations to reveal a vaster self. Phase 2, the descent into trust. What inevitably remains when the tightly clenched fist of control is finally released is often not immediate, blissful peace, but rather a deep, unsettling discomfort, a pervasive, gnawing insecurity, and the loud, echoing reverberations of every old belief, every ancestral wound, every societal conditioning that ever whispered to you, "You are utterly alone here. If you truly surrender, you will inevitably suffer. If you dare to let go of the reins, you will surely fall, and there will be absolutely no one there to catch you." This is the archetypal void, the liminal space, the sacred pause between worlds, where the old familiar identity begins to fray at the edges, dissolving like mist, and the new expanded identity has not yet fully formed or anchored. It feels, often viscerally, like walking blindfolded into an unknown abyss, with nothing but the silence and the echoes of your deepest fears. But the profound alchemy, the true spiritual magic, the pivotal turning point, lies precisely here, in choosing, in the very thick of this visceral uncertainty, this fear, and this profound discomfort, to let your intrinsic, soul-level faith, that unwavering spark of divinity within, speak louder, with more authority and conviction than the clamoring, persistent voices of doubt, inadequacy, and fear of abandonment. Instead of perpetually asking, with a heart constricted by anxiety, "What if I fall irrevocably? What if this situation gets exponentially worse? What if I am truly, completely abandoned now?" You begin, perhaps tentatively at first, with a quivering whisper that slowly gains strength, to ask a radically different set of questions, questions that realign your very being. What if I am not only caught, but held in an infinite embrace? What if this seemingly overwhelming trial is not a punishment, or a misfortune, but a sacred, divinely orchestrated initiation, perfectly tailored for my highest growth? What if this pervasive discomfort is simply the necessary friction of profound transformation, the energetic resistance before a quantum leap? This internal shift, though often subtle in its initial manifestation, is profoundly powerful in its energetic impact. It instantaneously realigns your entire energetic field, like a tuning fork resonating with a higher frequency. This shift acts as an undeniable signal to your multidimensional nature, to your higher self, and to your entire vast cosmic support system, awakening them to take charge, to step forward, and to actively co-create with you. It's an act of radical self-trust, a silent yet potent prayer of unwavering confidence whispered directly to the universal consciousness. I trust the process, even when my human mind does not understand its intricate design or its ultimate purpose. It is the energetic equivalent of bravely spreading your nascent wings, even though you cannot yet perceive the invisible updraft that will effortlessly lift you into flight. Phase 3, the surrender as cosmic signal. As you bravely lean into this nascent, fragile trust, cultivating it even amidst lingering shadows of doubt, you begin to radiate a new, distinct resonance, a vibrational frequency so pure, so clear, so impeccably aligned that the entire universe, with its infinite intelligence, cannot, and indeed, will not ignore it. Profound surrender is never a passive act of resignation, a mere giving up, or a weak throwing in of the towel. It is, on the contrary, a fiercely active, dynamically powerful frequency, a potent energetic transmission that emanates from your core being. It immediately releases all layers of subtle and overt resistance, sweeping away the energetic static and distracting noise from your entire energetic field. It acts as an undeniable, luminous beacon, shining brightly into the cosmic ethers, drawing the unwavering attention of your star family, your higher guides, the angelic realms, and all loving, benevolent intelligence surrounding you, beckoning them closer. You are, in essence, broadcasting a crystal-clear, powerful message into the cosmic ethers. I am fully ready to receive. I am willing to allow something infinitely higher, something divinely intelligent, benevolent, and omniscient to move through me, to orchestrate my reality, and to co-create with me. This is not a desperate, pleading cry from a place of victimhood. It's a powerful statement of aligned sovereignty, a confident declaration of partnership with the divine, an affirmation of your conscious co-creator status. At this exact, pure frequency, as your inner world fully aligns with cosmic truth and universal flow, quantum fields immediately begin to realign around you with astonishing precision. Opportunities, profound insights, and tangible resources that were previously unavailable, completely invisible, or seemingly out of reach, suddenly begin to crystallize into your conscious awareness, manifesting in uncanny ways. It's as if the universe, hearing your clear, resonant signal, instantly begins to move mountains on your behalf, not because you finally asked correctly or perfectly, but because you finally became an open, unblocked, clear, and perfectly aligned channel for its benevolent, abundant, and intelligent flow. Phase 4, the sacred trial, activation point. Now comes the electrifying breakthrough, the pivotal, defining moment of true, irrevocable transformation. What once felt undeniably like a harsh punishment, an agonizing exile, or an insurmountable, crushing obstacle in your path suddenly reveals itself, with breathtaking clarity, as a profound initiation, a sacred rite of passage designed specifically and meticulously for your soul's unique evolution and highest ascension. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, its boundless love, and its perfect understanding of your soul's journey, tests your resolve, not with the cruel intention to torment you, not with the desire to see you fail, but to gently yet firmly ascertain if your nascent trust, your inner knowing, will truly endure and hold steadfast in the profound darkness of uncertainty, as well as in the comforting, illuminating light of clarity. This is the moment where your faith is not merely believed, but is actively forged, tempered, and purified in the intense crucible of experience, where it is irrevocably proven to yourself, to your higher self, and to the vast, observing cosmos. If you hold steadfast, if your unwavering faith does not sway, does not falter, even when every single fiber of your human being screams to retreat, to give up, to hide, even when the path ahead seems utterly obscured by an impenetrable fog, your entire energy signature shifts fundamentally. It crystallizes into a new, higher harmonic, a purer, more resonant frequency. You become irrevocably synchronized, like a perfectly tuned instrument, with your core galactic codes, the divine blueprint of your most authentic, powerful self, which was always patiently waiting for this precise moment of courageous, unyielding trust to fully activate. In this moment of steadfastness, of unwavering commitment to your highest truth, doors, previously invisible to your limited earthly perception, suddenly swing wide open with an audible click, revealing pathways you never knew existed. Synchronicities, once subtle and rare occurrences, begin to gather and accelerate with astonishing, undeniable frequency. The right people, the perfect opportunities, profound divine messages, and tangible, practical resources show up with undeniable precision, appearing exactly when and where they are needed most, as if orchestrated by an unseen hand. These are not random coincidences or strokes of luck. They are undeniable, tangible confirmations that the trial you endured was indeed sacred, that your profound surrender was always honored, deeply understood, and held within divine grace, even when your human mind could not perceive its cosmic significance or its grand design. This phase serves as irrefutable proof, a living testament, that the universe always, without fail, responds with magnificent generosity to courage anchored in unshakable trust. Phase 5, the divine decree, reality reconfigured. In this rarefied alchemical space, once your profound, unyielding faith has been undeniably proven, and your surrender has been fully embodied, not just as an abstract concept, a fleeting thought, but as a living, breathing, vibrational state of being deeply anchored within every cell of your existence. A powerful, absolute decree is issued on your behalf. This is not an arbitrary judgment by some external, distant, or indifferent godhead acting outside of you. It is, instead, a powerful, absolute declaration made by the highest, most evolved aspect of your own being, your infinite, sovereign soul, working in perfect concert with universal law and the intricate cosmic blueprint meticulously designed for your life's highest trajectory. It is your soul, in its full power, stating with unwavering authority, "This is who I truly am. This is what I embody. This is what I now allow into my experience, fully and without reservation." In that instant, your entire life timeline recalibrates, instantly, exquisitely, like a finely tuned instrument snapping into perfect, resonant pitch after being slightly off-key. Blockages that seemed insurmountable, whether they were energetic, emotional, financial, or relational in nature, dissolve with an astonishing ease that feels nothing short of miraculous, like an ancient spell being broken. Resources, previously scarce, unattainable, or even unimaginable, begin to flow towards you in unexpected, delightful, and abundant ways, like a mighty river finding its natural, unhindered course after a long, arduous drought. Blessings that seemed locked away behind impenetrable walls of circumstance or limiting beliefs now pour into your reality with joyful, unrestrained abandon, cascading into your life. These profound, undeniable miracles are not random rewards, lucky breaks, or arbitrary gifts from a capricious universe. They are the inevitable natural result of energetic congruence, the harmonious alignment between your inner state and the universal flow. Your inner steadfastness, your unshakable trust, and your profound surrender transform effortlessly into outer manifestation, mirroring your internal shift. The sacred trial completes, not because the world outside has somehow changed its mind about you, or because external circumstances have suddenly become easier, but because you have anchored a new, higher, more potent vibration within the very fabric of the world, within your personal energetic field, reshaping your reality from within. You are both the decree and its magnificent fulfillment. You are the architect and the masterpiece, the declaration and the divine manifestation, all rolled into one boundless, luminous being. Phase 6, the anchoring of blessings. As this powerful new energy now abundantly enters your field, tangible, expansive, and undeniably benevolent, manifesting as outer blessings, you are called, crucially, to receive it without the common human distortions of guilt, unworthiness, or the pervasive fear of losing it, a fear that often sabotages future abundance. This is a critical, often overlooked, yet absolutely vital step in the process of manifestation. The key here is not merely to intellectually acknowledge these blessings, or to simply express fleeting gratitude, but to deeply, fully anchor them, to let them truly land and integrate within every single cell of your being, allowing them to permeate your consciousness. This means knowing intrinsically, not just believing conceptually, that you are not simply lucky or fortunate, but that you are perfectly, divinely aligned with your true, abundant nature. The universe, acting as a perfect, impartial mirror, responds directly and unequivocally to the precise level of authentic faith and profound surrender you embodied throughout your sacred trial. External success that appears effortless, boundless abundance in all forms, restored vibrant health, deeply loving and harmonious relationships, and exciting newfound opportunities are not arbitrary gifts or earned rewards in the traditional sense. They are the direct, tangible echo of your internal congruence, the outer manifestation, the undeniable ripple effect of your inner state of grace and alignment. The blessings are not earned through struggle or suffering. They are direct, undeniable reflections of the new, higher vibrational signature you now transmit into the cosmos. They are powerful confirmations of your expanded state of being, profound invitations to fully inhabit your newfound power, your inherent abundance, and your sovereign divinity. Embrace them with open arms, with a heart overflowing with genuine gratitude, allowing them to root deeply, firmly, and irrevocably within your consciousness, creating a new, abundant foundation for your life. Phase 7, the return as embodied master. Having bravely passed through the refining, purifying fires of the sacred trial, having courageously navigated the often uncomfortable depths of profound surrender, and having triumphantly emerged with an unshakable, luminous faith, you return not to your old life, your previous limitations, or your former identity, but to a life profoundly reauthored, reimagined, and reborn from your expanded, illuminated state of being. You are fundamentally, irrevocably changed, transformed from the inside out, like a diamond emerging from raw carbon. You become an undeniable, radiant transmitter of faith, an energetic beacon of possibility, and a living embodiment of profound spiritual wisdom, not stemming from mere intellectual knowledge or learned theories, but from the crucible of lived, embodied experience. Others around you, even those completely unaware of your arduous inner journey, intuitively notice the profound, undeniable shift in your presence, the new glow in your aura, the deep serenity in your eyes, and the grounded power in your very essence. You carry within you the encoded living memory of your ordeal, a deep cellular knowing that resonates from your core, that surrender was never a loss of power, a defeat, or an act of weakness, but paradoxically, the greatest, most profound power you could ever wield. It was the master key that unlocked unimaginable reservoirs of inner strength, boundless resilience, and an unwavering, intimate, divine connection. Now you move through reality, not as a mere survivor of past storms, but as an embodied master, a luminous anchor point for others who are still navigating their own tumultuous storms of fear, doubt, and chaos. You hold open the energetic field for collective activation, demonstrating through your very existence that profound transformation is not just a spiritual concept, but a tangible reality, that divine support is constant, omnipresent, and unwavering, and that every single challenge, no matter how daunting, is merely a veiled blessing awaiting its magnificent revelation. Your journey becomes a living, breathing testament to the profound truth of conscious evolution, a radiant lighthouse standing steadfastly on the shore, guiding others home through their darkest nights. Here, in the afterglow of this galactic transformation, this profound alchemical journey from the constricting grip of fear to the boundless liberation of freedom, from the desperate need for control to the effortless flow of cosmic co-creation, I want you to remember this with every fiber of your being. Let it seep into your very bones. You were never abandoned, not for a single moment, not even when you felt most utterly alone. You were never punished, nor were you tested for cruelty's sake or divine capriciousness. Every single moment you wanted to collapse under the weight of the world, every silent tear you shed in the solitude of your darkest night, every raw, vulnerable prayer you whispered into the seemingly silent, indifferent void of night was heard, was seen, and was deeply, intimately understood by your soul, by your higher self, and by the legions of loving guides in your vast cosmic family who watch over you tirelessly, in the multidimensional realm where all timelines are visible and all potentials are known to unfold. Your greatest activation, your most profound empowerment, lay not in desperately trying to change what happened to you on the external plane, not in fighting against the currents of fate, but in who you chose to be in that moment, what you chose to embody in the face of adversity, and how you chose to respond from the depths of your being while it was happening. It was in your radical, courageous acceptance, your brave, unconditional surrender, and your unyielding, luminous faith that your true, limitless power was finally, irrevocably activated. Surrender is not a giving up, a throwing in of the towel in defeat, or an act of weakness. On the contrary, it's a precise, potent cosmic signal, an open, unequivocal invitation to the entire universe to conspire effortlessly and magnificently on your behalf. Faith is not blind. It is, in fact, the purest form of multidimensional sight, the profound, innate ability to perceive divine order, benevolent orchestration, and sacred synchronicity beyond the limiting confines of your physical senses, and the often deceptive, chaotic current earthly narrative. The delay you experienced, those frustrating periods of waiting and pervasive uncertainty, were not a denial of your heartfelt prayers or a sign of abandonment by divine forces. They were, in truth, exquisite orchestration, your sovereign soul patiently waiting for the precise energetic frequency of trust to align perfectly and harmoniously with the larger mission you embodied and the higher timeline destined for you, a timeline woven with infinite potential and blessings. When you authentically surrender, not just intellectually, but with every cell of your being, and hold unwavering faith in the perceived void, in that sacred space of unknowing, you don't just survive the trial, you transcend it entirely, rising above its limitations. You don't just endure the hardship, you receive the divine decree that irrevocably recodes your life, transforming your reality from the inside out, manifesting blessings beyond your wildest dreams. Blessings rush in, not because you finally earned them through struggle or suffering, not because you paid a karmic debt, but because you finally became congruent with them, because your energetic signature, purified and refined, finally matched the frequency of the abundance, the joy, and the profound peace that was always your divine birthright, waiting to be claimed. You stepped fully into alignment, and the universe, in its infinite wisdom and love, responded in kind, mirroring your inner transformation in your outer reality. Tonight, if you do just one thing, if you take only one tangible, profound step on this sacred path of deep remembrance and galactic activation. Speak this powerful truth, this vibrational command, directly to your own energy field. Let it resonate from the very core of your heart center, expanding outward, permeating every single cell of your being until you vibrate with its truth. I trust the orchestration. I surrender to my cosmic alignment. I activate my divine decree now. Allow these words to be more than just sounds, more than just a fleeting thought. Let them be a potent vibrational command, a sacred intention setting forth with absolute certainty a new, magnificent reality for yourself. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real, then respond to someone else's with encouragement or energy. This isn't content, it's collective alignment. Energy multiplies when intention connects. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow. You're not just watching, you're expanding. This is your space, and we're just getting started.